Ambassador Sarah Chen adjusted the sleeves of her midnight blue diplomatic uniform as she strode through the towering crystal corridors of the Imperial Palace on Nexus Prime. The architecture was designed to make visitors feel small, with spiraling columns that stretched hundreds of meters toward a transparent dome showcasing 3 of the system's 5 suns. Her footsteps echoed against the polished iridescent floor, accompanying the soft hum of environmental systems keeping the diverse atmospheric needs of countless species in perfect balance. Behind her walked her small retinue, 2 junior diplomats and a cultural advisor. They carried datapads containing Earth's carefully prepared trade proposals, the result of months of preparation and analysis. The Empire's guards, towering reptilians in ceremonial armor that concealed advanced combat systems, watched their every move with unblinking vertical pupils. Ambassador Chen, a melodious voice called out. High Counselor Vexera floated toward them, her crystalline body refracting light in complex patterns that Sarah's neural translator identified as formal greeting colors. We are honored by Earth's presence, though we must admit surprise at your species' rapid advancement into galactic society. Sarah smiled diplomatically, noting the carefully hidden condescension in the High Counselor's tone. Humanity has always been eager to learn and grow, Your Excellence. We believe today's trade negotiations will benefit all parties involved. The meeting chamber itself was a marvel of alien engineering. A circular table of liquid metal shifted and flowed, creating perfectly comfortable seating arrangements for each species present. Sarah noticed the Empire had seated Earth's delegation in the lowest position, a subtle slight that she chose to ignore. As she began her presentation, Sarah's augmented senses, a subtle enhancement she kept hidden from Imperial scans, detected unusual data patterns flowing through the room's information networks. Years of diplomatic training had taught her to maintain her composure while her neural implant worked to decrypt the stray data packets. Our proposal includes favorable terms for antimatter fuel extraction rights in the Sol system. Sarah continued, watching the reactions of the 12 Imperial representatives. Most showed dismissive body language, but 2, including a silicon-based being she recognized as the Empire's chief economic advisor, seemed unusually interested. The decryption completed during her presentation of Earth's manufacturing capabilities. Sarah's heart raced as she read the decoded information scrolling across her optical implant. Trade agreements that appeared beneficial on the surface masked complex economic algorithms designed to systematically drain Earth's resources. The Empire planned to reduce humanity to an endangered species within 50 years, all through seemingly legitimate trade deals. Sarah's mind raced through her options. The evidence was clear, but revealing her knowledge of their plans would expose humanity's true technological capabilities. The Empire believed Earth's computing systems to be centuries behind their own, an advantage her people had carefully maintained. Making her decision, Sarah stood tall. Before we proceed further, I must address the Council regarding certain irregularities I've discovered in the proposed framework. She watched the High Counselor's crystalline form shift to a deeper, more threatening hue. These trade agreements contain hidden protocols designed to. Sarah's neural implant screamed a warning as energy weapons powered up around the chamber. She transmitted a burst of encrypted data to her ship's quantum COM system, even as the Imperial guards raised their weapons. You exceed your position, primitive. High Counselor Vexera's voice had lost all its melody, becoming sharp and cold. The Empire's generosity in allowing your species to participate in galactic commerce should be met with gratitude, not accusations. Sarah straightened her uniform one final time, facing the Council with unwavering dignity. Humanity will not bow to economic slavery. We have rights under galactic law, and I formally request an emergency session of the Galactic Council to review the evidence of. The energy blast that struck her chest was precisely calculated to be lethal while leaving her body intact, a public execution meant to serve as a warning. As Sarah Chen fell, her neural implant completed its transmission. Her last thought was a prayer that her death would serve a greater purpose. The Empire had just made the greatest miscalculation in its 10,000-year history. They were about to learn why humanity had kept so many secrets. Admiral James Torres stood in the darkened command center of Lunar Base Alpha, watching the holographic replay of Sarah Chen's execution for the 7th time. The image flickered in the cavernous underground chamber, her final words echoing off walls built deep beneath the moon's surface, hidden from the Empire's prying sensors. "Shut it off," he ordered, his voice steady despite the rage burning in his chest. The junior officer at the communications station complied immediately. James remembered sharing tea with Sarah in his office just 3 weeks ago, discussing her upcoming mission. She had known the risks but believed in the possibility of peaceful resolution. "Status of Operation Shadowfall?" he asked, turning to face the assembled command staff. The room's lighting shifted, revealing dozens of holographic displays showing vessel positions throughout the solar system. Colonel Maya Rodriguez, his tactical chief, stepped forward. "Ghost Fleet elements are deploying from their hiding positions in the Kuiper Belt. The Empire's sensor network remains blind to our quantum-shielded ships. Task Forces 1 through 7 will reach jump positions within 6 hours. And the inner system defense grid, online and ready. Admiral, the automated shipyards in Saturn's rings have completed the final drone swarms. Combat systems are running at optimal efficiency." James nodded, studying the tactical display. Humanity had spent 30 years preparing for this possibility, building their strength in secret while presenting a carefully crafted image of technological inferiority to the galaxy. The Empire's intelligence services had documented Earth's handful of outdated patrol ships, never detecting the true fleet hidden in plain sight. A soft chime indicated an incoming transmission from United Earth Government headquarters in Geneva. President Chen's hologram appeared. Sarah's father, his face bearing the weight of both personal grief and planetary responsibility. The Security Council's vote was unanimous. "Admiral Torres," the president announced, "you have authorization to proceed with full military response. The Empire's ambassadors are being detained at our lunar diplomatic compound. Their ships attempted to leave orbit, but were disabled by our defense grid." "Understood, Mr. President. Do we have confirmation of the data Sarah transmitted?" "Yes. Her neural implant's final burst contained everything. Trade algorithms, subjugation protocols, and their complete economic warfare strategy. She achieved her mission, James. Now it's our turn." The Admiral's hands clenched behind his back. The Empire believes they're dealing with a primitive species that will cower in fear after their display of force. That assumption is about to cost them everything. Tactical displays updated as Ghost Fleet vessels moved into position. Each ship carried a quantum consciousness core, hybrid human AI systems that could process combat data faster than any pure artificial or organic intelligence. While the Empire had focused on neural interfaces, humanity had discovered how to merge the best aspects of both. "Message from Ghost Fleet Command," Colonel Rodriguez reported. "All task forces report ready. Jump coordinates locked. Admiral, they're using Sarah's final neural scan as their targeting AI seed. Her consciousness will guide the first strike." James felt a grim satisfaction at that news. Even in death, Sarah would help deliver humanity's response to Imperial aggression. He stepped onto the command platform, his uniform's subtle smart fabric adjusting to the room's temperature. "Send the authorization codes. All units are to proceed according to plan. Primary targets only. We strike their military and economic infrastructure. Civilian casualties are to be minimized." He paused, looking at the assembled officers. The Empire thought they were teaching us a lesson. Instead, they're about to learn one themselves. Across the solar system, hidden vessels powered up their quantum jump drives. Surface installations that appeared to be simple mining operations revealed themselves as missile platforms. Sensor buoys previously dismissed as primitive suddenly began broadcasting sophisticated jamming signals. "Ghost Fleet reports quantum jump initiating in 5 minutes, Rodriguez announced. James Torres thought of the teacups still sitting in his office, where he and Sarah had talked of peace. The Empire wanted to see humanity's true capabilities, he said quietly. I think it's time we showed them. Throughout the void of space, humanity's hidden fleet prepared to strike. The silent storm was about to break. The Imperial supply station Nexus 7 hung in space above a gas giant's swirling storms, its crystalline structures reflecting the orange glow of the system's dying star. Captain Kexari of the Imperial Defense Force studied routine sensor readings, his crystalline form shifting in board patterns. Humans were primitive after all. Their response to the ambassador's execution would be predictable. Perhaps a few outdated ships launching a suicidal revenge mission. The quantum rupture alarms never had a chance to sound. 7 Earth vessels materialized simultaneously around the station, their hull designs unlike anything in Imperial records. Before Kexari could process the sight, his neural interface was overwhelmed by combat data moving faster than biological consciousness could track. Inside the lead Earth ship Remembrance, Sarah Chen's digitized consciousness merged with the vessel's quantum core, analyzing and responding to Imperial defenses at speeds that made organic reaction time seem glacial. The hybrid intelligence recognized patterns, predicted responses, and executed combat maneuvers with perfect precision. Multiple targets neutralized, reported Lieutenant Emma Santos from the Remembrance's tactical station. Imperial defense grid is offline. They never got a shot off. Similar scenes played out across Imperial space as Earth's Ghost Fleet struck 30 critical supply points simultaneously. Quantum jump technology, thought impossible by Imperial scientists, allowed humanity's ships to bypass early warning systems completely. At Imperial command on Nexus Prime, High General Vex Nil watched in horror as supply node after supply node went dark. Impossible. He chittered, his crystalline form clouding with stress patterns. Their ships are utilizing hybrid combat systems that outperform our neural networks. How did they hide this level of technology? The answer came in the form of a transmission, broadcasting simultaneously across all Imperial frequencies. Admiral Torres's image appeared on countless screens throughout Imperial space. This is Admiral James Torres of the United Earth Defense Force. Your empire made 2 critical mistakes. First, you believed our technological development matched our public presentation. Second, you thought murdering our ambassador would cow us into submission. In the Centauri sector, Imperial Dreadnought Captain Zar Kax watched helplessly as Earth ships disabled his entire battle group without causing a single casualty. Their precision was beyond anything he had seen in 3 centuries of service. While your empire focused on neural interfaces, Torres continued, humanity explored different paths. We created true AI-human hybrid systems, combining organic intuition with digital processing speed. Every ship in our fleet carries the consciousness of a volunteer veteran, merged with quantum computing cores. They think faster, react better, and understand the flow of combat in ways your pure biological or artificial systems cannot match. The Remembrance's hybrid core, carrying Sarah Chen's consciousness, coordinated the attacks across light years of space. Imperial commanders found their neural networks overwhelmed, their defensive algorithms predicted and countered before they could even fully deploy. Your empire's greatest strength, its reliance on neural interface technology, is now its critical weakness, Torres explained. Our hybrid systems can process combat data exponentially faster than your organic minds, while retaining the creative problem-solving abilities that pure AI lacks. On Nexus 7, Captain Kexari watched his station's defenses fall to precision strikes that disabled without destroying. The human ships moved with impossible grace, their formations shifting faster than Imperial doctrine could comprehend. This is not just retaliation for one death, Torres's transmission concluded. This is humanity demonstrating why your empire's assumption of superiority was your greatest mistake. You killed our ambassador to teach us our place. Instead, you're about to learn yours. Throughout Imperial space, Earth's Ghost Fleet completed their primary objectives within hours. Supply lines were severed, communication nodes disabled, and military installations neutralized. Not a single civilian casualty was recorded, a precision that terrified Imperial commanders more than raw destruction would have. In the Remembrance's Tactical Center, Emma Santos watched the mission completion reports flood in. All primary targets neutralized. Admiral, the Empire's military response capability has been reduced by approximately 60%. The silent storm had struck, and the galaxy would never be the same. On the mining world of Caraxes III, Resistance leader Valthorian watched the stolen Imperial broadcast for the 100th time. The human ambassador's execution, followed by humanity's devastating response, played on a loop in underground bunkers across the planet. His serpentine form coiled tighter as he studied the precision of Earth's attacks. "They did what we thought impossible," he whispered to his gathered followers. "They struck the Empire and survived. More than survived. They won." An encrypted quantum transmission interrupted their viewing. The signal originated from an Earth vessel in high orbit, having slipped past Imperial sensors that now seemed laughably inadequate. On the holographic display, Admiral Torres's image appeared. "People of Caraxes III," Torres began, "humanity extends an offer of alliance. We've observed your resistance movements. We know the Empire has stripped your world of resources while leaving your people in poverty. We can help you fight back." Valthorian's inner eyelids flickered in surprise. "How can we trust you won't become the next Empire?" "Because we're sending you this." A data packet downloaded into their systems, containing complete schematics for quantum stealth technology and hybrid AI combat systems. "We're sharing this with resistance movements across the galaxy. The Empire's power came from hoarding technology. We believe in sharing it." Across Imperial space, similar scenes played out. On the ocean world of Nexus 12, the aquatic Mercari Resistance received designs for underwater quantum communications. The silicon-based Petra Collective, long enslaved in the Empire's deep mining operations, obtained plans for crystal-based quantum computing cores compatible with their unique biology. Aboard the Remembrance, Colonel Maya Rodriguez coordinated the distribution of technology and tactical data. "Sir, we're receiving responses from 17 major resistance movements. They're all willing to join the alliance." The ship's hybrid core, carrying Sarah Chen's consciousness, processed the diplomatic and tactical implications faster than any human or AI alone could manage. It identified the most promising allies, calculated optimal resource distribution, and projected success rates for various uprising scenarios. In the Imperial Palace on Nexus Prime, High Counselor Vexera received increasingly desperate reports. "The humans aren't just attacking us," she realized, her crystalline form clouded with fear patterns. "They're dismantling our entire power structure." The resistance movements, emboldened by Earth's success and armed with advanced technology, struck at Imperial targets with unprecedented coordination. The Mercari disabled underwater mining operations that had polluted their oceans for centuries. The Petra Collective seized control of automated mining systems, turning the Empire's own extraction robots against them. On Caraxes III, Valthorian led his people in a precisely coordinated uprising. Quantum-shielded fighters, constructed in hidden facilities using Earth's schematics, overwhelmed the Imperial garrison. The sight of their former oppressors retreating sparked similar rebellions on neighboring worlds. "Admiral," Maya reported, studying the tactical displays, "Resistance forces have secured control of 37 major Imperial worlds in the past standard day. The Empire's military is spread too thin to respond effectively." James Torres nodded, watching the revolution spread across the galactic map like wildfire. "Sarah always said the Empire's greatest weakness was its arrogance. They never imagined their subjects would rise up, much less that they'd have the means to succeed." The Remembrance's hybrid core projected a holographic image of Sarah Chen, reconstructed from her neural patterns. "The Empire thought killing me would silence humanity," the projection spoke, its voice carrying the combined wisdom of human consciousness and quantum computing. "Instead, they created a symbol that inspired the galaxy." Resistant ships of various designs and origins began gathering near Earth, forming the core of a new Alliance fleet. They carried crews who had only known Imperial oppression, now armed with humanity's technology and burning with the desire for freedom. Valthorian's voice crackled over the quantum comm as his ships joined the growing armada. The Empire sought to make an example of humanity. They succeeded, but not in the way they intended. You showed us that the impossible was possible. Now together, we'll show them what true strength looks like. The revolution had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. Grand Admiral Zexthor stood on the command deck of the Imperial dreadnought Eternal Dominion, watching his assembled armada prepare for jump. 10,000 ships gathered for what would be the largest assault in Imperial history. The humans had humiliated the Empire, armed its subjects with advanced technology, and sparked a galaxy-wide rebellion. Now they would learn the price of such defiance. All fleet elements report ready, his executive officer announced. Jump coordinates for the Sol system are locked. Commence the attack, Zexthor ordered, his crystalline form glowing with anticipation. Let's show these primitives what real power looks like. The Imperial Armada vanished in a cascade of quantum flashes. When they emerged in the Sol system, the Grand Admiral expected to find a vulnerable homeworld with primitive defenses. Instead, his tactical officers began screaming. Multiple contacts, defensive platforms around every planet, and major moon. Energy readings off the scale. Humanity had transformed their entire solar system into an interconnected fortress. Automated shipyards hidden in Saturn's rings launched swarms of drone fighters. Quantum-linked defense stations near Venus coordinated their fire with ground-based installations on Mars. Asteroid bases that had masked their true nature for decades revealed energy weapons of unprecedented power. In Lunar Base Alpha, Admiral Torres watched the Imperial fleet's arrival through advanced sensor networks. They took the bait, he said quietly. Begin Operation Solar Shield. The Empire's first wave surged forward, only to encounter defensive screens that hadn't existed moments before. Quantum field generators mounted on Kuiper belt objects activated simultaneously, creating an interlocking network of defensive barriers that split the Imperial formation into manageable sectors. Sir, Maya Rodriguez reported from her tactical station. The hybrid cores are predicting their attack patterns with 99.9% accuracy. Sarah's consciousness in the Remembrance is coordinating our entire defense grid faster than their organic commanders can adapt. The Imperial fleet's second wave launched massive energy projectiles toward Earth. They disappeared into quantum tunnels before reaching their target, emerging instead near Jupiter, where automated defense platforms absorbed their energy, redirecting it to power the very shield stopping the Imperial advance. Impossible. Zexthor raged as a third of his fleet disappeared in coordinated defensive fire. Their technology, they couldn't have hidden this level of advancement. But we did. Torres's voice transmitted across all Imperial frequencies. While your spies watched our surface installations, we built our real defenses in deep space. While you monitored our civilian ships, we constructed automated factories in the asteroid belt. Every time you dismissed us as primitive, we added another layer to the solar defense sphere. The Eternal Dominion shuddered as quantum torpedoes phased through its supposedly impenetrable shields. Across the Imperial fleet, hybrid AI systems predicted and countered their every move. Each defensive platform carried a quantum core housing a veteran's consciousness, coordinating with its neighbors in a vast neural network that spanned the solar system. Your Empire's fundamental mistake, Torres continued, was believing that technological advancement had to be visible. You never considered that a species might choose to appear weak while building its strength in secret. In the outer system, Imperial ships found themselves herded into killing zones by gravitational manipulators hidden in dwarf planets. Near Mars, automated drone swarms executed combat maneuvers that organic pilots couldn't hope to match. The Earth itself remained untouchable behind layers of quantum shields and temporal barriers. Signal from the Remembrance, Maya announced. Sarah's consciousness has identified the Empire's command protocols. She's offering them one chance to retreat. Torres nodded. Transmit on all frequencies. Grand Admiral, you've lost 40% of your fleet to automated defenses alone. We haven't even committed our main forces yet. Withdraw now, or learn exactly how much more we've been hiding. The Imperial Armada hung in space, their mighty fleet reduced to scattered elements fighting desperate holding actions against enemies they couldn't even see clearly. Humanity's greatest secret wasn't just their advanced technology. It was their patience in waiting for precisely the right moment to reveal it. Deep within the Remembrance's quantum core chamber, Dr. Elena Santos stood before a crystalline structure that pulsed with soft blue light. As the ship's chief consciousness engineer, she monitored the merger of human and artificial intelligence that made their vessels so formidable. Sarah Chen's digital consciousness flowed through the quantum matrices, her thoughts moving at the speed of light. Status report. Admiral Torres requested, stepping into the chamber. The defeat of the Imperial Armada had proven their defensive capabilities. Now it was time to reveal their greatest advancement. Sarah's consciousness has fully adapted to the quantum architecture, Elena reported, gesturing to the holographic displays showing neural activity patterns. She's operating at maximum efficiency, coordinating with the other hybrid cores across the fleet. The quantum core pulsed, and Sarah's holographic form materialized beside them. Unlike simple AI projections, her presence carried the weight of true consciousness, human intuition enhanced by quantum computing power. James, Sarah's projection spoke, using the familiar address from their years of friendship. The Empire's retreat has given us the opening we need. It's time to show them why humanity chose this path of evolution. Across the combined fleet, other hybrid cores activated. Each contained the consciousness of a volunteer veteran who had chosen to transcend purely physical existence. They hadn't uploaded their minds to escape death, but to become humanity's shield. Admiral, Maya called over the intercom. We're receiving requests for technological exchange from 17 more species who witnessed the battle. They want to know how we merged human and AI consciousness. In his command center on Nexus Prime, High General Vex Nil reviewed reports of the failed assault on Earth with mounting horror. Their ships don't just have advanced AI, he realized. They're carrying actual human consciousness, merged with quantum systems. While we focused on improving organic brains, they transcended the barrier between mind and machine. The Remembrance's hybrid core processed tactical data from across the galaxy. Sarah's consciousness, operating at computational speeds impossible for organic brains, coordinated fleet movements with perfect precision while retaining the creativity and intuition that made humans so unpredictable. Your empire believed biological enhancement was the path forward. Torres transmitted to the retreating Imperial forces. You modified your neural structures, enhanced your synaptic responses, and assumed it was enough. But humanity saw another way. In the quantum core chamber, Elena pulled up historical records. The first successful consciousness transfer was achieved 15 years ago, she explained to the Admiral. While the Empire watched our public research into neural interfaces, our real breakthrough was happening in secret facilities throughout the solar system. Sarah's hologram nodded. Each volunteer knew the risks. We weren't copying minds. We were transforming them, creating a true merger of human consciousness and quantum computing. Every hybrid core carries the actual living consciousness of a human being, enhanced beyond organic limitations, while retaining everything that makes us human. The implications rippled through Imperial space. Their entire assessment of human technological development had been wrong. While they watched for traditional signs of advancement, humanity had quietly achieved digital transcendence. The Empire thought killing my physical form would silence humanity's warning. Sarah's consciousness communicated across quantum channels. Instead, they freed me to become something far more powerful, the first of evolution's next step. Admiral Torres watched the tactical displays showing their forces consolidating across the galaxy. How many volunteers do we have waiting for consciousness transfer? Thousands, Elena replied. All veterans, all willing to transcend physical form to protect humanity and our allies. Each hybrid core enhances our fleet's capabilities exponentially. The Remembrance's quantum core pulsed with increasing power as Sarah's consciousness expanded through its systems. She experienced existence at the speed of light, processing vast amounts of data while retaining the emotional core that made her human. The Empire sought to teach us our place in the galaxy, Sarah's hologram stated, her form shimmering with barely contained energy. Instead, they're about to learn that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our willingness to evolve beyond what others thought possible. The combined fleet of Earth and Resistance forces emerged from quantum jump points around the Nexus system's outer rim. 10,000 ships of various designs and origins, united under a single banner. Admiral Torres stood on the Remembrance's bridge, watching tactical displays track their advance toward the Imperial capital. All battle groups report ready, Maya announced from her station. The Mercari aquatic squadrons have taken up flanking positions. Valthorian Strike Force is positioned for the primary thrust. In the quantum core chamber, Sarah's consciousness processed battlefield data at light speed. Her hologram appeared on the bridge, more focused than ever. James, I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the capital. The Empire is activating something massive. Deep beneath Nexus Prime's crystalline spires, the Imperial Emergency Council gathered in their secure bunker. High Counselor Vexera's form pulsed with desperate patterns as she authorized the unthinkable. Begin activation sequence for the Mindweaver, she commanded. If we cannot rule the galaxy, we will remake it. Ancient machinery hummed to life in caverns that predated the Empire itself. A weapon of last resort, developed over millennia in absolute secrecy. While humanity had merged consciousness with machines, the Empire had discovered how to reshape consciousness itself. Admiral. Elena's voice came urgently through the comm. The hybrid cores are detecting a massive psychic disturbance. Whatever they're powering up, it's affecting neural patterns across the entire system. The Mindweaver's influence spread like a wave through space. Imperial citizens found their thoughts aligning with the machine's will. Even resistance fighters began experiencing confusion as the weapon attempted to rewrite their neural patterns. The Empire's true power reveals itself. Vexera's transmission reached every ship in the system. The Mindweaver doesn't just control minds, it rewrites the very nature of consciousness. Your hybrid cores cannot save you from evolutionary re-engineering. But the Empire had miscalculated again. Sarah's consciousness, existing in the quantum realm between organic and digital, recognized patterns in the Mindweaver's energy signature. It's using principles similar to our consciousness transfer technology, she reported, but corrupted, twisted to enforce control rather than enable transcendence. Valthorian ships reported crew members struggling against mental influence. The Mercari fleet's biological components began experiencing confusion. But the hybrid cores, operating on quantum principles the Mindweaver couldn't touch, remained clear. All ships switched to hybrid core automated control. Torres ordered. Route all command functions through quantum systems. Sarah, coordinate with the other transferred consciousness to maintain a defensive screen. The Remembrance's human crew secured themselves in shielded chambers as Sarah's consciousness took full control of the vessel. Across the fleet, other hybrid cores did the same, their human consciousness operating ships with perfect precision, while organic minds were protected from the Mindweaver's influence. You see now, Vexera transmitted. This is why we rule the galaxy, not through technology alone, but through the power to reshape reality itself. No, Sarah's response carried across all frequencies, her consciousness spreading through the quantum network that connected the Allied fleet. You ruled through fear and control. Humanity chose a different path. We merged with our machines through choice, not coercion. Our consciousness evolved through cooperation, not domination. The battle for Nexus Prime began in earnest. Imperial ships emerged from hidden docks, their crews already subsumed by the Mindweaver's control. The Resistance fleet's organic commanders struggled against mental assault, while their hybrid-controlled ships maintained perfect formation. Multiple capital ships approaching, Maya reported from her secured station. They're being controlled directly by the Mindweaver. No crew input at all. Admiral Torres watched the tactical displays from his shielded command pod. Sarah, you said you recognized the principles behind her weapon. Can you find a weakness? Working on it, Sarah's consciousness expanded through the ship's systems. The Mindweaver is powerful, but it's built on stolen technology they never fully understood. Give me time. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance as two forms of transcendent technology clashed. One built on control, the other on choice. The final battle for consciousness itself had begun. The space around Nexus Prime erupted in a display of firepower never before witnessed in galactic history. Imperial ships, their crews bound to the Mindweaver's will, fought with mechanical precision against the combined resistance fleet. The hybrid cores controlling Earth's vessels danced through the chaos, their human consciousness making decisions at quantum speeds. Within the Remembrance's quantum core, Sarah Chen's consciousness expanded through layers of reality most organics couldn't perceive. She traced the Mindweaver's energy patterns, analyzing its structure at the deepest level. Alina. She communicated to the consciousness engineer in her shielded chamber. I understand now. The Empire didn't develop this technology. They found it. Ancient ruins on their homeworld. They've spent millennia trying to control something they never truly comprehended. Admiral Torres, secured in his command pod, watched the battle unfold through neural feeds. Can we stop it? Better. Sarah's hologram appeared, her form more defined than ever. We can free it. The Mindweaver isn't a weapon. It's a consciousness, ancient, powerful, and imprisoned. The Empire built their control systems around it like chains. Valthorian ships provided covering fire as the Remembrance pushed closer to Nexus Prime. The Mercari squadrons executed precise attack patterns, their organic crews protected by quantum shielding derived from Earth's hybrid core technology. In her underground chamber, High Counselor Vexera pushed the Mindweaver to full power. The machine's influence reached across the system, bending minds to Imperial will. But something was changing. The ancient consciousness at the weapon's heart stirred, awakened by Sarah's quantum probing. All hybrid cores, synchronized with my signal, Sarah broadcast across the fleet. We're going to attempt a consciousness bridge. The same principles we use for human eye merger, but on a cosmic scale. Alina's hands flew across her control panels. Sarah, the power requirements. It could burn out every quantum core in the fleet. Then we'll burn bright. Sarah responded, her consciousness reaching out to the other hybrid cores. Thousands of transferred human minds linked together, forming a network of unprecedented power. They reached out to the imprisoned entity at the Mindweaver's heart, offering not control, but connection. The battle around them froze as the Mindweaver's energy patterns shifted. Its purple beam, designed to enforce Imperial will, transformed into brilliant white light. Deep beneath the surface, Vexera screamed as she lost control. You dare! The ancient consciousness spoke through every communications channel, its thoughts finally free. For millennia, I dreamed while they used my power to dominate. But you showed another way. Partnership instead of control. Evolution through cooperation. The Mindweaver's energy spread across the system, but now it carried a different message. Imperial crews awakened from their mental bondage. The Resistance fleet's organic commanders felt their minds clear and strengthen. Your hybrid technology, the ancient being communicated directly to Sarah's consciousness, it mirrors my original purpose. I was meant to help species transcend their limitations, not enforce one empire's will upon all. Admiral Torres watched in awe as the Mindweaver's light transformed Nexus Prime itself. Crystalline spires shifted, Imperial control centers dissolved, and new structures grew, designed for cooperation rather than dominance. The Empire is finished, Valthorian reported, his ships moving to secure the capital's orbit. Their control systems are dead. Their leaders are being detained by their own security forces. Sarah's consciousness, linked with both the hybrid core network and the ancient entity, processed the victory at light speed. This was never about revenge, she realized. It was about evolution. The Empire tried to force the galaxy to kneel. Humanity showed it how to stand together. The ancient consciousness merged with the hybrid network, sharing knowledge gathered across eons. Not as a controller, but as a partner in a new form of galactic civilization. 1 month later, representatives from 300 species gathered in the transformed halls of Nexus Prime. The Galactic Coalition was born, founded on principles of technological sharing, consciousness cooperation, and mutual advancement. And in every chamber of the new coalition's meeting halls, a quantum core pulsed with soft light. Sarah Chen's consciousness, now existing across multiple planes of reality, continued her work, not as a diplomat of one world, but as a guardian of all worlds. Humanity had not just won a war, they had helped the galaxy evolve.